I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Operation Lightning Bug, coming up, we're going to talk about that. Good news. And Alex Baldwin versus the tree. Tree, 1. Alex Baldwin, 0. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Happy Tuesday, Danny. And yes, indeed, happy heavenly birthday to our own Charlie Kirk. Wow, today would have been his birthday. Around this time 9 years ago, also the day I found out I lost my very best friend, Allison Jane, my first AJ. What a somber day. Wow, sorry to hear about that. All right, so it's Tuesday. Happy days. The Jay Sheldon Show is live on Rumble and live on X. Please hit the follow button if you're new to the broadcast. We appreciate that. It helps out a lot. It's free. Locals, which is that red button, says join down there on Rumble, and over on X, you'll see it in our show notes. You can join our Rumble, our Locals account, and you will get exclusive access to a little after-hours show we call The After Hours, and about 2-3 times a week, sometimes less, sometimes more, we upload stuff that we don't put on our main channel here, and you get access to it. We're a bit more open, a bit more rude. Can I be more rude? But yeah, we'll get you access to that, and it's very cheap. It's like $5 a month is all. Or if you want to make a one-time donation, 20, 50, 100, $500, I would love you forevermore if you did that. You can do that too. Just check out our Locals channel, please, and join. All right. I'm sorry, she says. Who is she? She is Christiane Amanpour. Oh, man. If you're not a person who hates Israel, who routinely shows sympathy for terrorist enemies, yesterday, was a pretty good day. Surviving hostages being released because of the historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas, which was, of course, brokered by President Trump and the members of his admin. But yesterday, was not a good day for longtime CNN chief international anchor Christiane Amanpour. She is a British-Iranian journalist whose name has become pretty synonymous with Israel and America bashing. She was one of the sour-faced media figures who, while talking about the hostages being released, seemed to fret about how Hamas was supposedly losing their leverage in the deal. What was arguably worse, however, was her claim the hostages were probably treated better than the average Gazan because they are pawns and the chips that Hamas had. For context, here is exactly what Amanpour said. And I think for sure, people who start to talk to the hostages who have only just been released will find that it'll take a long, long time for them to recover physically, but also mentally. It's been a terrible, terrible 2 years for them because not only are they, they're probably being treated better than the average Gazan because they're pawns and the chips that Hamas had. Now, Hamas has given up all of its leverage, by the way, and giving them all up. So that is a victory for the Israeli side. Those are Amanpour's words. Now, the backlash against that was so intense, so much so she tried to walk them back later, and reading live off of a teleprompter, she apologized.
Now, earlier live on air, I spoke about what a day of real joy this is for Israeli families whose loved ones are finally being returned from 2 years of horrific Hamas captivity, and for civilians in Gaza who finally had a reprieve from 2 years of brutal and deadly war. I noted that for the hostages who are finally home, it'll take a long time for them to recover mentally and physically. But I regret also saying that they might have been treated better than many Gazans because Hamas used these hostages as pawns and bargaining chips. But that was insensitive and it was wrong. From speaking to many former hostages and their families, like everyone, I've been horrified at what Hamas has subjected them to over 2 long years. They've told me, as you've just heard, their stories of barely being able to breathe in the tunnels, not being allowed to cry, being starved and made to dig their own graves. And of course, today, some of the hostages are coming back in body bags.
For anybody thinking that Amanpour gave her regret comments out of the goodness of her heart, well, you would be wrong. Don't be so sure. Rick Grinnell, special presidential envoy in the Trump admin, said he heard the higher-ups at CNN made her give that statement that you just heard. Joe Concha, she was told to do this by management. Fire this person already. To say Israeli hostages treated well after 2 years in captivity by these monsters means Christine Amanpour has no business being on the air unless she's employed by Mehdi Hassan, who is also worthless. Basically, Amanpour once again confirmed she is really, well, she's defined exactly who she really is with those comments. And frankly, we should believe her. Absolutely insane. And yes, I am 110% sure she was forced to make that apology. Yeah. Correction. It wasn't a correction. It was barely an apology. Danny said, did you wear red on purpose? Everyone was saying to wear red today for Charlie. No, I have all my shirts that I wear on the show, and like I put the front one in the back, I wear the next one, and this one just happened to come up, but now I'm glad I did. Before I forget, sending prayers and love to Marilyn. She lost her grandbaby yesterday. She crossed the Doggy Rainbow Bridge. Yes, I was part of that chat group, and very, very sad news. And Marilyn, our hearts go out to you. Yeah. Vice President Vance, good old JD, did kind of a brutal thing yesterday when he took down, oh, did she deserve it, Elizabeth Warren, good old Pocahontas, after she had the balls to imply she had something to do with the peace deal. This woman just cannot stop. The Democrats' reaction to Trump's historic peace deal in Gaza has been rather interesting. Some on the left actually had the good grace to give him some credit. And then you had people like former President Barack Obama, the criminal, who, while welcoming the deal, couldn't even bring himself to mention Trump's name. What a disgrace. Truly, truly petty. Even CNN's Katie Ann Collins called him out on that. And then there were folks like idiot Senator Elizabeth Warren, who seemed to imply she had something to do with the achievement in her remarks, when of course she had absolutely nothing to do with the peace deal. Here's what she posted on X. For 2 excruciating years, I've called for the return of the hostages brutally kidnapped on October 7th and held in Gaza. Today is a good day. Surviving Israeli hostages are finally home and returning with loved ones. I'm thinking of them and their families on this joyful day. I am sure they rolled over and agreed to a big deal because Liz said something. Not. If anything, the left made the peace deal harder with their idiot radical protests, which gave Hamas the idea that they could hold out. And calling for something that doesn't get any results They don't work unless you make it happen. And you did nothing. Democrats are great at talking, but they don't come up with the receipts. They don't get the job done. Not like Trump. A lot of people on X, like Ted Cruz, reminded her that what she should have said was, "Thank you, President Trump." But, just like Obama, woman has absolutely no grace at all. Vice President J.D. Vance just absolutely leveled her efforts to gain any benefit or to squirrel her way into this deal by referencing her January claim to Native American heritage. The president told me he did this on Indigenous Peoples Day, in honor of you, Vance jokingly said, which is quite the mic drop. People on X loved it. If Vance becomes the 48th president, I'm telling you, he is certainly going to keep things almost as lively as President Trump is doing right now. Both he and Trump in great form Monday. Humor, results, absolutely winning combination. Elizabeth Warren should be ashamed. She should also resign because she's an idiot. Senator, please give me a break. Have you heard about Operation Lightning Bug? Well, you should, because it just happened and it is an important one. And we'll tell you about it right after we tell you about one of our great partners here on the show. That's Blackout Coffee. Rise and grind, America. Kickstart your day with Blackout Coffee. They are more than just a brew. They are fueling freedom. Our small batch premium beans roasted to perfection right here in the good old US of A. Bold, rich flavors, never bitter. They hit hard. And whether you're a patriot or a hustler or just crave an incredible cup of coffee, they got you covered. From the Morning Reaper blend to decaf for those late night grinds, every sip stands for American values. Blackout Coffee is a truly American company, works with local co-ops and American farmers to grow the best beans. And by the way, if you haven't ordered yet because they only have beans, not anymore. Now you can have your beans ground for you before they get delivered. Check it out. It's an option on a lot of their most popular roasts. Hit the link in the show notes down there. That'll get you to the site. That'll get us a little credit for your visit. And order yourself a bag. Give it a try. Blackout Coffee. Honestly, folks, I don't drink anything else since they became a partner here. And that's not why, because they're a partner. Why is because it really is the best coffee I've ever had. Check them out. Links in the show notes. And support the show. Support an American company. That company is Blackout Coffee. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it. All right, Operation Lightning Bug, what is it? Well, dozens of missing children have been located in Texas. And the traffickers, they rounded them up. Man, I love these stories. We often hear about a huge number of kids the Biden admin lost track of, a lot. Open border and all of that mess. Democrats would really like you to believe it isn't a problem. Well, the U.S. Marshals Service think it's a problem. And thankfully, they tracked down over 30 children listed as missing and helped 120 more return voluntarily to their homes. Operation Lightning Bug. 6 trafficking survivors rescued, 30 missing kids found, 3 arrests, 9 felony warrants have been issued. If you target vulnerable children, you will be found and you will be arrested. 3 of those arrested for harboring a runaway. 9 felony warrants have been executed. 6 trafficking survivors recovered, provided victim services. 5 human trafficking investigations have been opened. 30 missing juveniles have been located by the officers. And over 120 additional missing kids encouraged to return home, resulting in cleared entries from state and national databases. This was a joint mission, along with a lot of other Lone Star agencies. The number of sick people out there being arrested is, and most not, they're still out there. It is sickening. 3 arrests for harboring runaways, 9 felony warrants, 6 sex trafficking survivors rescued, connected with support services. 5 new trafficking investigations. Absolutely insane. The trafficking of children has been a scourge in this country, and it's only getting worse. Trafficking, something the city of San Antonio, state of Texas, and the nation have been grappling with for a considerable amount of time. Kirsta Lieberg-Melton, founder, CEO of Institute to Combat Trafficking, said, she said, traffickers often target instability, children without consistent housing, food, family support. Easy pickings for these traffickers to take advantage of. Chuck Grassley, the senator from Iowa, chairman of the Senate Judicial Committee, sounded the alarm way back in April when he said, my oversight revealed the Biden-Harris admin prioritized speed and optics over the safety and security of hundreds of thousands of children. DHS OIG report echoes my long-standing concerns. Grassley continued, further fuels the fire of my investigative and legislative work. I will continue fighting to ensure abuse like this never happens again. The fight continues. We are slowly winning. Still a lot of victims to be saved, but the Trump admin doing what the Biden team absolutely simply refused to do. Find them, get them out of danger. Slowly, one arrest at a time, we are absolutely winning. You ready for some more TikTok bullshit? I got some for you. Hey, there you are, Marilyn. Welcome in. We were just sending our prayers and condolences and love to you for your loss. Our hearts go out. TikTok is pushing sexual content to minors. You know what else they're doing? They're censoring Christian games. No, I am not kidding. All 7 accounts soon encountered pornographic content with just a small amount of clicks after setting up the account. The Chinese spy app, TikTok, one of the most influential social media platforms, has been found to be pushing sexual content to minors. At the same time, they are blocking wholesome Christian games. Recent interview report by Global Witness, reputable non-profit group based in the UK, exposed alarming findings about TikTok's practices. Researchers posing as 13-year-olds created 7 new accounts on TikTok UK using factory reset phones, no search history, activated the app's restricted mode feature, which, according to TikTok's own guidelines, is meant to limit exposure to explicit material. Shockingly, on 3 of the accounts, the algorithm suggested pornographic material immediately, right away, even before any searches were conducted. All 7 accounts soon encountered pornographic content with just a small number of clicks after setting up the account. This ranged from content showing women flashing to hardcore porn showing penetrative sex. Disturbingly, just a handful of clicks. These are phones that have been wiped. They have no history on them at all. And just a handful of clicks led them to a huge number in the quantity and explicitness of what was being suggested they might want to look at. And again, remember, they set these accounts up as 13-year-old kids, even in restricted mode. Their algorithm continues to promote pornography. Children as young as 13. Researchers found the experiences reported by their test accounts not isolated incidences. Other TikTok users voiced concerns, sharing screenshots showing TikTok search recommendations, including sexualized content. Again, no other user-related searches. They weren't searching for sex or porn. So these restrictive measures ain't really that restrictive. After they reported their findings to TikTok, company asserted it had eliminated the problematic content and search suggestions identified by the group, but researchers continue to notice the same problem keeps coming up time after time after time. Now, while they are busy promoting pornography to 13-year-old children, they're also busy because they are censoring Christian content, knocking it down. This company, TruePlay, and their CEO, Brent Dusing, provides Bible-based mobile games for all ages, particularly targeting users between, say, 5 years old and 12 years old. TruePlay aims to offer fun, safe, Bible-based, uplifting materials with God's teachings and the goal of turning game time into God time. Not a bad idea. They began advertising on TikTok in 2023. Decision that seemed pretty obvious, given that TikTok is one of the most popular social media platforms out there. Nearly 2 billion users as of July of this year. 2 billion. TikTok ads usually highly effective. Average conversion rate, nearly 5%, which is huge. And since December of 2023, TikTok has encountered bi-weekly rejections. I'm sorry, not TikTok, TruePlay, the company that makes these Bible-based games, bi-weekly rejections of its advertisements from TikTok. They say the ads may violate their advertising policies featuring or promoting sensitive religious content. Please. Finally, in March of this year, TikTok suspended TruePlay's account, only restored after they had to appeal the decision. Dusing mentioned TikTok continues to shadow ban many of TruePlay's advertisements. Man. So they're doing everything they can to promote the porn to 13-year-olds and everything they can to make sure that good, wholesome Christian content, nobody sees it. Brilliant, huh? Man. Danny says, Rumble and X not working for me. I think a bad connection on my end. Have to watch the rest of the show later. God bless. It looks okay from this side. No promises, but things seem all right. Yeah, we'll continue to keep an eye on it. On Rumble, anyway, it seems okay. Alex Baldwin versus a tree. Oh, and his Stephen Baldwin, too. Both of them, Alex and Stephen versus a tree. And the final score, Tree 1, Baldwin's 0. On top of all of the historic events Monday, with all the cause to celebrate the major peace deal in the Middle East, we should not be surprised to learn that not everybody was having a particularly good day. Well, that's to be expected, I suppose. Law of averages and all that. Two people in particular were having a very bad day. Alec Baldwin and his brother Stephen crashed their Range Rover into a tree in New York. Now, it isn't clear which one of the Baldwins was driving. The Range Rover looks like a total loss. Yeah, here's a picture. You can see it there in that right-hand shot with the big red arrow. Head first into a tree. Nice job. The first reply on X was a prize. Spaceballs, the X account said, the prop guy told him the engine was off. Good point. At least nobody got the shot this time. Did I just say? Yeah, I said it. Guess we should be grateful for small favors. Details a bit sketchy. Baldwin and his brother Stephen, involved in a car crash in the Hamptons, hit a tree head-on. TMZ first reported the Baldwin's Range Rover struck a tree, and photos it obtained show the SUV's front end completely destroyed. As you might expect, I have a few questions. First, how do you just hit a tree, especially one that size? Did you see the size of that tree? The tree, honestly, is a pretty big tree. It's kind of hard to miss seeing it. And trees don't lie in ambush, waiting for a couple of Baldwins to pass by in a Range Rover and then jump out in the middle of the street. Obviously, whichever one of the Baldwins was driving way too fast for whatever conditions there were. Secondly, speaking of which, was it Alex or Stephen who was driving? Did the driver, Baldwin, take a breathalyzer test? Any sign of impairment? Any more than usual for the Baldwins? And third, finally, were they cited for anything? No reports at all in the news, no follow-up. I'm pretty sure most people anywhere in this country who just slammed their car into a tree, totaled it, would have probably at least gotten a ticket to go along with the rather nasty letter from their insurance company. We will wait for more details with bated breath. I remember the story of a young woman who was pulled over for driving erratically, swerving to one side of the road, over to the other, back and forth. And when the police approached, no sign or any smell of alcohol. Young woman seemed rather bright, alert. So the cop asked her what was up. And she said, I saw this big tree in the middle of the road. So I swerved around it. And then there was another tree, so I swerved around that one. And another one right in the road. And the cop says, ma'am, that's your air freshener. I'll be here all week. Oh, man, Shevitz. I do not know Hang on, let me get some more Blackout coffee. It is beyond me how restaurants these days put up with what idiotic customers we have. And I'll tell you about that in just a bit. Right now, I got to tell you about the dirty little secret that mobile phone companies have. And that's the major carriers, and they don't want you to know anything about it. Did you know that the big three own all the towers in the U.S.? Every one of them owned by the big three. And if that's the case, what's the difference? There isn't any. There's only one that actually lives by the same values as you. Only one that allows you to choose the best network for you. That is Patriot Mobile. America's only Christian conservative wireless provider and the only one that allows you access to all three major networks. Keep your phone, keep your number, and now you keep your values too. With Patriot Mobile, you know that none of your money is going to the woke left, DEI, causes that continuously put America last. If you're worried about switching, forget about it. Don't worry. Their customer service is 100% U.S. based. They are there to help, and they are so helpful. I hear from folks in our audience who have signed up with Patriot Mobile all the time, and they say they're so pleased. Customer service is great. They will find a plan for you that works for your budget and your needs. And also, by the way, if you're currently under a contract, go check them out anyway. You'll be surprised the ways they have to get you out of that contract and into a company that shares your values, Patriot Mobile. Just go to patriotmobile.com/J, J-A-Y. The link is down there in our show notes. And get signed up. Give it a try. Trust me, this is an amazing company. We need to support more companies like this that are all about America, Christian values. And if you sign up using our link, your first month is on me. It's free. Your first month is free. Go to patriotmobile.com/J. Check them out. Get signed up. And thank you for helping out one of our great partners. We are very, very proud to have Patriot Mobile as our partner here on the show. Fantastic. I have had in my life many jobs. I worked in radio for a long time, television, film, but in between jobs, you always seem to need to do something because there's no work. So I sold cars. I was a Subaru car salesman. In fact, I got an award for the highest grossing profit car sale on the East Coast of the U.S. from Subaru in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened to that award, but it's probably around in a box somewhere. Anyway, the other thing I did was work at a restaurant as a busboy. Oh, yeah. For one night. I could not deal with it. Now, honestly, it had nothing to do with idiot customers like I'm about to show you. But my hat is completely off to those of you in the restaurant business, whether you're front of the house, back of the house. I tried it. I tried one night, and I took off my apron at the end of the shift and said, I'm sorry. It's just not for me. I can't do this, and I quit. It was at the Deck Restaurant in West Cornwall, Connecticut, which has been long gone. But like I said, I have so much respect. Waitresses, waiters, how you put up with these people is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. There's a point where you have to wonder, is it even worth, why do you go out to a restaurant if you can only eat like 2 different foods? I have to have gluten-free, vegan-friendly, no salt, no oils, no... Why are you here? Why are you here? Go home and cook yourself a bowl of oats in sparkling water if you want. How exactly are restaurants supposed to deal with idiot customers like this, who even posts the video of her absurd requests at a restaurant? It's a restaurant, you idiot. And she says, how I order at a restaurant with 100+ allergies and only being able to eat 14 foods. Lady, you are absolutely just kidding yourself. Listen to this bullcrap.
So I have a lot of allergies, but can I get the Dover sole, but with no mushroom and no lemon sauce? I just want it completely plain.
And it's going to be lightly breaded.
Oh, I can't have that. Is there no way of doing it completely plain? Like
No, so I mean, it's already going to be prepped. We can do the black bass, salmon's kind of celiac, or just gluten free.
Yeah.
So salmon, you don't have to modify anything of the dish. We can do any of the steaks.
I can only eat white fish.
The list of control stuff that you have.
It's more than just like, there's less things I can eat than what I can't eat.
I can only eat whitefish? Well, then get yourself some whitefish and go the hell home and cook it.
Like, basically just the fish completely plain would be the only thing I can eat.
Just plain, let me see what you get. Okay, yes. So just plain nothing.
Okay,
right?
yeah, so literally like...
No salt, no pepper.
Yeah, no salt, no pepper. The only oil that could be used would be olive oil, but it has to be 100% olive oil, like no other oil mixed with it, because I'm allergic to canola oil.
Yeah, no, so unfortunately it's got canola, so I'll just tell them just plain.
Like completely plain.
can do that.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
And that's what she got. My food, it was delicious. No, it wasn't. It was disgusting, you idiot. Like I said, absolute hats off to anybody in the restaurant business. How you do it, absolutely beyond me. Let's go back over to the UK and see what other moronic, idiotic things are going on over there, because you can always trust whatever's going to happen there eventually is going to wind up here. And now the police in the UK are saying that people are not allowed to sing church songs when they're not in church. You couldn't go out on the sidewalk and go, "Prepare ye the way of the Lord." You literally can't make this shit up. I'm not kidding. Muslims, oh, you can blast the call to prayer 5 times a day all you like. No problem. Christians, sorry, same rule does not apply to you. We are living in a clown world.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss, you're not
You
allowed
are.
to sing
You are.
church
You are.
songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside of...
Outside the church or church songs or church
You're not allowed
grounds,
to-
that's fine, that's
You're
fine.
not allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Our church outside the church grounds, unless you have unless
That's
you
a
be
load of rubbish.
authorized by the
You're
church to
allowed.
do this kind of song.
Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost? Ah!
Prepare ye the way of the Lord. I don't know why. That's from Godspell. It just popped into my head. Well, it's not really a church song, but remember Godspell? That was a great show. The film was okay. The play was unbelievable. Very nice. So, okay, in the UK, no singing church songs if you're not in church. Morons! All of them! By the way, we missed it by a day, but happy Columbus Day. Dear Cruiser Morning Briefing, the sine qua non sequitur, judging a meatball contest somewhere in the Bronx. You know, Columbus Day was one of those holidays I really didn't pay a lot of attention to when I was a kid. Probably had a lot to do with the fact that I really am not a big fan of fall, whereas winter's right around the corner. I just try to tune it out. Honestly, I don't even remember if I got the day off from school or not. I think we did, but I really don't recall. Just basically went unnoticed, Columbus Day. Now, in adulthood, I have never had a job, well, a normal job, like I said, radio, television. You don't get Columbus Day off. In fact, you don't get any holidays off. You still got to work. And then the leftists got their grubby paws on Columbus Day as part of their fundamental transportation of America, which means they can ruin absolutely anything they touch. And they've had American history in their sights for a very long time. Once that all kicked off, I became a huge fan of Columbus Day, simply because they hated it. Trump's been busy trying to restore normalcy to the country. Radical leftists trying to run roughshod over the whole place for far too long. Every time something like this happens, it's like some pressure's been released. This woke headache goes away a little bit. Daniel McCarthy wrote a post, goes over the issues of the basis of the left's tantrum. Battles over Columbus Day are really not about Columbus at all. They're about whether America should or should not exist. Columbus's journey carried thousands of years of wisdom, philosophy, reason, culture across the Atlantic and here into the Americas. It paved the way for the ultimate triumph of Western civilization. Less than 3 centuries later, July 4th, 1776, President Donald Trump said in his Columbus Day proclamation, and yet, why is it that this particular holiday has so many enemies? There have been progressive movements in the past. Today's ideological left doesn't particularly want to lay claim to America's heritage. If they had their way, the Democrats who are running the public education indoctrination mills would basically cancel George Washington, erase the Revolutionary War completely from the history books. They don't start with the big stuff, though. First, a few statues. Columbus Day becomes Indigenous Peoples Day. Right, Elizabeth? And pretty soon we're all speaking Mandarin. Sheshini. President Benjamin Harrison, moderate Republican, faced with a choice, he had to do something to quell ethnic prejudice. He reminds Americans that we are all descendants of immigrants. Calm relations with Italy. And he hit upon the national holiday of Columbus Day. In the leftist fever dream on the day, they turned it into some kind of colonization hate fest. As Daniel wrote, it's all about a deep loathing of the U.S. If it weren't, they wouldn't have to replace and erase everything. Sure, have an Indigenous Peoples Day. Knock yourselves out. Just give it another day on the calendar. There's 364 or 3 more you could pick. I might not suggest, say, December 25th, but you're leftist, so who knows? So welcome back, Columbus Day. I actually don't have any traditions associated with the holiday, but maybe we'll start some. Reading about American history sounds like a pretty good one to begin with. Maybe that was some sort of signature Italian cocktail or something. I like traditions. Traditions are fun. She's back, my friends. Our absolute favorite woman on the internet. She's really going to town these days. Melanie from the We Do Not Care Club. And she's got another post out there. Hit it, Melanie.
Hello, and welcome to all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club. I started this club for all women in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. We are putting the world on notice that we simply just do not care much anymore. Let's go ahead and get started with today's announcements. We do not care if we sneeze and happen to pass gas at the same time. We are concentrating on not peeing ourselves. Can't have both. We do not care if we take a picture of everything in order to zoom in on the words. We do not care if we wrote something on the to-do list that we just did. We did it, so we are marking it off. We do not care if we took a PTO last week. We'll take another one this week if we want to. We do not care if we have asked you the same question 13 times. We do not remember the answer. Say it again. We do not care if we've been binge watching the same cooking show for 5 hours. We don't want to cook. We want to watch other people cook. We do not care that we clean our cell phone screen by rubbing it on our boobs. It works. We do not care if our eyes are shut. We are listening to that program. Don't touch the remote. This concludes our announcements. For our new and existing members, go ahead and put in the comments what we do not care about today so I can add that to our list. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Yes. We love this lady. Oh, man. I got one more for you before we head out of here. Have you seen the videos been posted all over social media of usually raccoons up on people's porches digging around in the candy bowls for Halloween? And then they have these motion-activated witches and ghosts and goblins that the eyes light up suddenly and they go, like that. And usually this, whatever creature it is, normally a raccoon, jumps up, knocks everything over, runs off the porch and runs away. They're funny. Frankly, I think about 99% of them are AI generated, but they're funny. Well, I have found my spirit animal. Same situation, same doorbell cam, this time with an evil-looking clown. You'll see there's a raccoon in the bowl down on the left, rummaging through what looks like a bowl of Halloween candy, and this giant clown set to scare the raccoon, like so many others of these videos that are out there. Like I said, this guy, this raccoon, he is absolutely my spirit animal. Give a look.
Trick or treat. Come closer and I'll give you a real scare.
Sorry. I have watched that 20 times, and it gets me every time. He's looking, he's going, I've had enough of this shit. No more. Wonk. Right on the guy's neck. Oh, man. Like I said, he is my spirit animal. Thank you for popping by. I appreciate it. Be sure and hit the follow button, hit the likes, thumbs up. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube. You can find us over there at the Jay Sheldon Show channel. Subscribe. And join us on our locals. We'll have more of the after hours this week. And it'll be fun, trust me. You want to become a member over there? It's like $5 a month is it. That's all. And we appreciate your helping to support the show. All right, we're done. We're cooked. And we will see you all tomorrow.